Now I'm your sweet pea.
I'm a chore boy around the house.
Yeah. Did you find us some food? Well, hello. We are Wicked Initiative. We're a group from New England that gets together every Thursday to play some D&D, and we're starting a brand new campaign. So let's dive right in, guys. I'm going to start with a little prologue, kind of give you the gist of the world, and then we'll go from there. Cool?
Sounds good.
Alrighty. In the boundless expanse of the world's oceans lies a continent shrouded in legend and myth, a land where the ancient and the arcane converge. This is Agros, a realm governed by the great Mullah Sassandra Javi, whose wisdom and generosity have sustained a delicate balance of power and prosperity. Here, 5 formidable clans carve out their destinies, each adding to the rich tapestry of draconic culture that defines this magnificent land. At the heart of Agros lies Asgora, the vibrant capital, the home of the Dragonborn. Asgora's unique and colorful landscape merges with the majestic architecture that resonate with the hum of arcane energies and commerce. It's a city where the arts, sciences, and sorcery flourish, a place where scholars, artisans, and magicians alike share their trades amongst the prideful eye of the copper dragon, Jorok the Brazen. The culture here is a blend of ancient and the new, a testament to its ingenuity and resilience of its inhabitants. To the southwest, nestled in the coastal xeric shrublands, lies Vesh, the domain of the lizard folk. The Veshian lizard folk, renowned for their deep connection to the natural world, practice ancient druidic rites and rituals that are passed down through generations of peace druids. Their culture is one of harmony with the land, their villages seamlessly integrated into the rather dry landscape. The lizard folk are known for their unparalleled knowledge of herbalism and their fierce guardianship of their sacred clutches. These clutches are small, specific communities of lizard folk that work together harmoniously to survive. However, recently many clutches were shattered when a terrible plague swept over Vesh, leading to the deaths of many without any reason or knowledge of why or how. In stark contrast, we go up to the north of Asgora, to the Talon Mountains of Bane, which serve as the home of the kobolds. These industrious and resourceful beings have carved out a network of tunnels and warrens beneath the surface, creating a subterranean kingdom where innovation and cunning reign supreme. The kobolds of Bane are master miners and engineers, their society thriving on the riches extracted from the earth. Their intricate traps and devices are a marvel to behold, and their tenacity is matched only by their loyalty to their clan. We go out west once more, above Vesh. Across the Orthar Gulf, the grasslands of Ithmar stretch as far as the eye can see, an expanse of rolling plains and grasslands. Here the land teems with a multitude of creatures, from herds of wild horses to families of triceratops. The Hesjing River keeps the land well hydrated and runs straight through the middle of Ithmar. This countryside has the most foreboding of views of the Talon Mountains, as it is dipped slightly lower, and it has you can see the truly magnificent view of the Talon Mountains in the distance. The inhabitants of Ithmar are diverse, resilient, and their culture is shaped by those close relationship with the land and its creatures, much like the Vesh. They're skilled hunters and herders, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of the plains and the cycles of nature. They're known for their deep respect and balance of their ecosystem and their harmonious coexistence with their neighbors from Vesh. And finally, to the far, far north, lies the region of Dracul. This clan composed of many tradesmen and craftsmen. Most of the region's resources are supplied by either Bane or Ithmar, but the natives settled here not because it was fertile, but for the view and for the dragons. There's a circuit of roads and tunnels that lead through the mountains to Bane, but are far less traveled now, as the natives typically use dragons as a means for transportation of goods. The denizens of Dracul are a secretive and reclusive clan, their culture marked by esoteric practices and hidden knowledge of wyvern riding. The Draculians are masters of mounted combat, and their allegiance to the Great Mullah is unwavering, their loyalty rooted in ancient oaths and blood ties. We step back from the world as the great Mullah Sasan Rajavi gazes out over his vast and diverse realm. He knows that the strength of Agaros lies in the unity of its clans, each contributing its unique strengths and wisdom to the whole. But in Port Vishar, discord begins to stir, and the balance of wellness that has been held for 400 years now teeters on the brink of upheaval. It is a time of adaptation and uncertainty, a time when nations will be forced to rally together or be devoured. Our campaign begins here at the edge of the Azgora Vesh landmarks, where the fate of the continent and its people hangs in the balance. Will you, brave adventurers, answer the call to protect and preserve not only your own interests, but the interests of those around you? We're going to switch to introductions, because we can't have a campaign without heroes, right? So,
If that's what we are. To be determined.
Yes.
we're gonna go down, down, down to the Feydark. Nixel, will you please tell us who you are?
Nixel is a fairy artificer. He was born into a powerful family of sorcerers and was outcast.
And what do you look like? What's your appearance?
He is small. He's got red hair, one brown and one blue eye. He kind of wears lots of clothes with elegant gears and small metal trinkets that he carries around with him. He's got large wings that, as opposed to other fairies, whose wings might be small, his wings kind of have like a flowing feature to them, as they're a bit longer than a normal fairy's wings would be. He's got obviously the pointy ears of a fairy, and a very, very strong jawline.
We do love a strong jawline.
All the things I am now.
Excellent. Well, Nixel, you actually are heading towards a lesson with Master Gearspark. We journey into the Bronzework Vale, where you have been summoned for another lesson within the cave system. As you're walking in, you can see that there's just jewels everywhere. You can see in this tunnel system, there's tons of little gnomes that are just hammering away, trying to chisel out gems here and there. And you see in the distance Master Gearspark, who is this short, blue-skinned, like dark blue, navy blue-skinned gnome. He has this like kind of like bald patch on his head, but he's got this like wispy, like kind of thin, whitish gray hair that's just sort of falling down his back a little bit. And he's wearing tons of different like trinkets and things on his body, lots of like machinery that are just sort of like ticking and clicking along as he moves. And he's just hard at work at his workbench. You can see a couple of things that he's shuffling around, some papers here and there, a couple of blueprints, and you can also see that there's a couple of like very large purplish gems, and you're looking around. Make a perception check.
16.
Yeah, as you're looking around, you can sort of notice that like these purple gems that are much larger, you don't see very many of them in this space. It's mostly golds, reds, a couple of greens here and there, but these purple ones seem to be an outlier. So yeah, what are you doing? He's just sort of mumbling to himself.
Nixel decides that since he's here for a lesson, he's going to walk up to Master Gearspark and get his attention.
Master.
Oh, Nixel, my boy. Come for the lesson.
As always.
Excellent. I wanted to show you something. And he sort of moves over to the large purple gems. Any idea what these are?
Can I roll investigation?
Sure.
I can certainly try. It's going to be an 11.
11. You've seen these in passing, but you've never gone out of your way to sort of investigate them. They don't necessarily have the same lustrousness to them where they look desirable. They're kind of like got this like opaque white substance that just sort of like goes around. They're not shiny like other crystals. They kind of look just like a purple rock, like a geode almost.
Okay.
Right? Any idea what these are?
I've gotta say, no.
Well, you're in luck. These are a very special stone called lavrosite. And you want to know why they're special?
Yes.
You see him take the rock, and he whispers a word into it, and it starts to glow. And it has these sigils that sort of, like an arcane fingerprint almost, that sort of appear on it. Watch this. And he speaks another word into it. The other stone that's sitting next to it lights up as well. These are very special in connecting the worlds. I can take this stone and I can talk to this other stone anywhere in the world. Isn't that exciting?
Immensely.
So many things that we could do with it. Make a perception check.
It's a 4.
On his workbench, as you're sort of like kind of into the lesson, but not really, you notice that there's a couple of blueprints that have been shuffled on top of each other. And it's got this unfinished design, but the inscription on it you can see is draconic. And it reads, Judge, Jury, and Executioner. And that's just further down on the side of the workbench. Sorry. So, I figure I could make a business out of these if I were to find some magical way to cut them. Because a normal hammer just won't work. I've tried it. It ruins it. And these are very rare. So
you're asking me to do something you haven't done before?
Not exactly. I just wanted you to see it for your keen mind. To hopefully come up with something in the future. Okay? Understood?
Got it.
Excellent. I'm sure you're quite busy with the, whatever you do. So, I guess scram for now. That's all I needed you for.
All right, Master.
Clouds as we fade out from this story. All right. So we're going to move to our next person, our next character. Who is next?
Roll for
Let's go for. We're gonna go back up to the surface realm, out of the Feydark and into the material plane, where we'll go a little dark. Cedric, would you please tell us what you look like?
Yeah. Cedric is a young adult male cleric. He has striking green eyes and has a black cloak with leather light armor over it.
Excellent.
He also
Very-
has a striking jawline, something I do not have myself.
All of these jaws.
The wide
All right.
with jaws.
Jaws on
Strangle.
jaws on jaws on jaws. All right. Cedric. We go to the land of Archendale. A main hub in the Dalelands, or at least was. You're on horseback, riding through the slums. It's deep in the middle of this plague that is happening. At this point, you realize that the spread of it is faster than the clerics can heal, and that the plague expresses itself kind of like acid burns and boils. As you're walking by, you're looking around. On horseback next to you is also you have a guard that's sort of transporting you somewhere, and another priest who is your superior, and his name is Bemar. As you guys are sort of walking along, you notice that the guards are kind of removing the dead, or nearly dead at this point. They're honestly, at this point, they're kind of just getting people out of their misery. If they see anyone that's sort of just not moving at all, the guards will just come by and sort of like finish them off. Unless you also see there's a couple of people that like maybe a little bit more well off, and so they'll pay for services of healing of any sort. It may not actually heal them, which is the case in a lot of this. You also know that the Ilmatari are not permitted to aid unless payment is fulfilled. Otherwise, you're to keep your magic for the leadership and high military command, or yourselves. Okay? Basically, you know right now that your job is to go heal this guard in this district. Bemar is sort of like, yeah, we need to keep this on the down low. How do you feel about this?
Bemar, what would Ilmater think if we had kept these blessings to ourselves? Shouldn't we spread them to the people?
I mean, look around. What more can we do?
Since when do we accept payment for the blessings that aren't even ours to give?
I understand your point, and it isn't right. But it's just one of those times that we must survive and get through until some cure comes along.
Well, let's get on with it.
This is going to be very dangerous. If we are caught, it could get bad.
I understand. Should continue regardless.
As you guys continue forward, you go past multiple just sections of people that are just piled up. Again, you're in the slums. This is the bad of the bad. Alright, this is the people that have been kicked out of the city and just sort of like left to die. As you get to this like sort of small house that almost looks kind of like a wooden outhouse. There he is. He's in there. We've got to do this quick. If the swords find us, we're all dead.
Let's get on with it. Don't delay any farther.
You trot up. He sort of nods to the other guard, and you head forward, and Bemar opens the door, and you see in front of you just a guard, like a captain of the guard that is just covered in acid burns all over his body. It honestly looks like the flesh has been sort of eaten off of him to the extent where like there's exposed muscle and like gory bits of like blood coming out of his mouth from like just the gums of his teeth kind of rotting. The spaces around his eyes have just been like they're just like almost been sucked out essentially. As Bemar sort of hops off the horse and pats it for it to like go essentially, hoping he gives it a little prayer and then quickly we must move so we're not spotted. He reaches down. Come quickly. Come on. You guys get down. He sort of casts. You see this like greenish magic that is. Give me an Arcana check.
20.
Excellent. Yeah, you would know this is a common occurrence at this point for you. You've seen it multiple times. He's casting a greater restoration spell right now. Basically, this is kind of an insta-cure of illness. This is a very high-level spell for healing-wise. And as this man sort of, you see all of his flesh start to reform. His eyes go back in his sockets a little bit more normal. Thank you. Quickly. Your help was much appreciated, but the swords are probably on their way. They're always watching. We must leave.
Where can we go?
I was hoping you could tell me that. Where do we go?
To the temple then. They can't go in there.
Excellent. He gets up. You sort of like kind of help him up, and Bemar is also on the other side, sort of like carrying him along. He's healing, but he's not like totally healed. He's weak in the knees.
Yes.
The spell only cures kind of illness. It's not like a fix all.
Yeah.
So yeah. Give me a stealth check. And I'll roll for Bemar as well.
It didn't roll. It
Oh,
just
I
landed.
was just
It
no
didn't
way.
know.
One.
Bem-
Wasn't me.
Okay. No, it just rolled. It just landed. Right?
Bemar rolled a nat 1.
No,
no.
14.
The tables have turned.
14.
This is lifted.
No, why'd you say that?
Bemar is not stealthy at all. So he's sort of just like, come on, get up, we've got to go. At this point, you see in the distance trotting 3 horses with full regalia and 3 individuals on their backs. The one in the front is wearing a bright red gown that goes all the way down. It's got gold embroidery on the arms. It's a bit lacy around the neck area, and it has a hood on. All 3 are hooded, and the other 2 that are kind of striding behind have a similar look to the design, but you can tell they're both male, because they are not wearing gowns. They're wearing kind of just like more dapper slacks.
And they spotted us already?
And they're sort of walking towards you guys. You can see they're all wearing hoods, and you can't see their face. The facial area is completely blacked out. You would know from stories that this is how they approach the public, where they are totally secretive of who they are. So much that this facade or whatever magic is in front of their face has not been dispelled before. And if it has, whoever saw died. As they approach on their horses. They ride up to you. What are you doing with that man? As the red one sort of like steps forward a little bit and starts to circle around.
We're just doing our patrol of the slums as we always do.
He is weak, but he does not have burns.
The starting signs of the plague, unfortunately. We can save it back for as long as we can, but there's only so much we can do.
Circles around behind you. Do you look behind you, or do you stay facing
I keep
forward?
my head down in respect.
All right. So what you don't know is that she waves essentially a signal, and you see in front of you the blue rider move their hands and cast some sort of magic. Give me an Arcana check.
14 again.
14. They are weaving a detect magic spell. And what you also know with the 14 is that healing magic typically leaves a bit of a sign, like an arcane fingerprint after.
So not only did it
That there's some sort of necromantic magic that was recently used.
So not only did they know what was cast, but who casted it?
Correct.
Yeah.
As she circles back around, doesn't it get tiring and depressing to do this all the time? It's time for the Imatari to step down. You'll see soon enough that there will be no need for any of you at all. And she rides past Bemar and suddenly glances at you and says, "The cure for an obsession, dear boy, is to get a new one." At this very moment, you see the blue rider and the red rider instantly they point a finger, and a green ray of horrible energy just flashes out of their finger as Bemar and the guard that you're holding onto instantly just sort of like disappear or disapparate. You can give me an Arcana check on what they did.
8.
You've heard stories about this type of magic, but it is lethal, and they will never be seen again. The last thing you see before we fade out of this past memory. Give me an insight check.
18.
You notice that the black rider merely looked at you and didn't do anything else. An important thing for you to remember in your head. Excellent. As we fade out of this memory.
Thoroughly. Okay. Now we know the stakes a little bit.
It was too noisy. He paid for that.
He was going to be like.
Oh,
Ugh. Bruh.
I'm real. Literally crying.
We're gonna shift over to Aries. Aries, please explain to us what you look like.
Aries is a young half-moon elf, very fair skin, icy white hair, blowing usually under a black hood that I always have on, always in dark black, dark blue clothing. Always got all the weapons strapped on, and like icy blue and dark lips, eyes and lips.
Awesome.
You know.
Excellent.
Scene.
Aries, we stay within the Dale Lands, but we move to a smaller, more tight-knit community, a city of moon elves called Bristar. However, this memory is not that, it's rather dark as well. You begin in a small room where you see your father, Eladir Felmoon, sitting in a chair, sort of propped back a little bit, propped up on a stage. You are here for a semi-private execution. There are multiple elves here as you look around. I want to ask, where does Aries stand in this small, about 30 by 30 foot square room? There's multiple people in here, multiple elves of different, mostly higher, like high elves, essentially. Their status is higher. They're more well-known, well-respected, and that's to the general public, well-respected. You know that some of the people in here are also swine. Like, they're not good people, but you just haven't managed to be able to find a way to get them where they're supposed to be. Excuse me. So yeah, where are you standing? Or sitting?
I would love to be standing somewhere near the back to get a good view of everything, but not be like in the center or like sort of pretend to have any like eyes on me.
All right. So for that, make a perception check. Sorry, excuse me. As you're standing in the back,
11.
so you would know that at this execution, elves are very, it's not supposed to be an execution that is vicious by any means. It's more civil. This is death by poison, or basically an injection of poison to kill them. Basically paralyze them until they die. However, with a perception check of 11, you see the executor is sort of fiddling with whatever he has in the needle. And you can also see that under his hood, kind of like around the neck area, that there's some charred looking flesh, or some acid, or some boils. You're not quite sure. It could be sickness, it could be he recently injured himself. But he is also a moon elf, like yourself, or half moon elf. As he's walking towards, you see him sort of look out to the crowd. The rest of the crowd sort of nods gives a little bow. He leans in towards Eladir Felmoon, who has sort of been restrained. It's time. You can have an insight check on that.
Oh god. Sorry guys, where's my insight? There it is. Ooh, what is that? 18, 19, 20, 25.
The whisper is not usual custom. Normally the executor is paid to execute, and that's it. They don't talk. But this seemed more personal than that. As they inject it into the neck, you see his arms and legs start to like tense and reel a little bit, and then they start to go rigid. And people will stand here for 3 or 4 minutes to see this person actually like just take their final breath, because you can still see that the lungs are moving a little bit, but it's the sense of paralysis to the body that kind of like the weight on his chest from the muscles not being able to do anything more is essentially basically what suffocates him. However, also with an insight check of 25, you notice at this time that like he's kind of gone limp faster than usual. As the crowd starts to clear out a little bit, you see the executor sort of run off into the back area, which is also not normal. What do you do?
Is anyone still in the room, or did everyone leave? Is there still people leaving?
People are shuffling out. They're sort of, some of them are upset, some of them are happy. It's a mixture of both. People have come to see him put away. Like, many people who are up for execution usually are there because they killed or did something much worse to their family.
Okay. And he has already had his last breath, or is it still going on right now?
Proposed. You can make a medicine check, but you have to go up to the stage and find out.
And he ran back behind. Alright. I want to follow where the guy went, but like, you know, nonchalant, little stealthy, not like run back there. You know, like, see what he's doing.
Okay. Give me a survival check.
Oh no. Is that
For tracking.
Oh, there it is. All the way at the bottom. 6.
A 6.
Crap.
As you slowly kind of like find your way towards the back, as you look to your left, because he went to the right back corner, I think you get stopped in your feelings a little bit about what this actually meant to other people. And obviously he is your father, you know how he treated you. However, you also know that he kind of made you who you are, in a way. So yeah, I think that's a little bit on your mind. You try and shake the thought and you sprint into the back to try and catch up with, or find some way, figure out where this guy went, and he is just gone.
There's not anything that I can try to figure out, like investigation for where he went at all, like in that room, or just...
So it's a small room. He went out the back door, and there's just an alleyway, and you don't see him in this alleyway. You do know that you are this execution was actually happening very close to your mother's alchemy shop, the True Moon Elixirs.
Okay.
But other than that, you have no sight on him. You could try investigating anything within the alleyway, or you could go back and potentially say goodbye to your father, as he'll be left there and eventually carried out at some point.
This alley, is it like, it's not like it's a dead end or anything, it's like the alley just keeps going?
Yeah, no, the alley just keeps going and then probably takes a left and a right somewhere down the road.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna keep going.
You're gonna keep
I'm gonna
going?
keep going investigating
Are you investigating for him in particular, or are you trying to find some clue into
I mean, I think I would say both,
where...
right? Like if I see, I'm trying to see where maybe he would have gone, but any clues that kind of point me to what direction or anything else if you want to leave behind.
Give me an investigation check.
21?
21?
21? Sorry.
Sorry. With a 21, actually, as you're sort of meandering around in these alleyways, it's nighttime, so it is more quiet. There's still some activity about. Obviously, people are still dispersing, but something you see a glint in the corner of your eye, and what you find is actually a small kind of glass bottle that has been broken. As if someone, and as you're looking at it, give me another insight check. 10. You remember back to when he was kind of flicking with this needle, and as you touch you look in the cracked bottle, there seems to be some sort of like viscous material that's kind of like milky white, and you realize that the color of the liquid is slightly off. It should have been clear, and it's actually milky white, which means whatever was injected into him was not poison. It was something else entirely. But on the bottle, doing your investigation, you also notice it has True Moon Elixirs on it.
Okay. Is that it? That's all I find right there? Is that it before I move on? Anything else? Is just the bottle?
That be it!
Alright, so we're close to that shop? To my mom?
You are nearby, yes.
Okay.
About a block.
Can I head over that way?
Yeah, 100%. You strut over there. Do you strut, or do you sort of...
Yeah, I just have a swagger strut with my
Excellent,
flowing black
excellent.
cape.
Yes.
Really
Alright.
getting stuff done.
Strutting over there.
Stomping boots.
You see the door kind of close.
Like it just closed.
It just closed, yeah. What do you do?
I quickly go in. Right after whoever was
Quickly,
there. Catch that
sort
door.
of stop with the strut and high hoist up your knickers.
Hey, you can walk fast.
Walk fast.
Like a strut, but I'm gonna catch that door before it even closes, so they don't hear me open the door again.
All right, excellent. So as you undo the door, it opens, and inside you can see your mom, who's just sort of like over the edge, kind of breathing heavy, but like upset. She obviously knows what happened this evening as well. And as you sort of unhinge the door, good gracious, you scared me. Don't tell me you went to it.
Of course I went to it. Who just came in this building? Or was that you? Mom, let's get this straight. It's my mom. Can have a little attitude.
I was just sweeping the dirt off the outside. That's all.
Why are you so out of breath?
I'm upset.
Are you?
Of course. You can give me an insight check if you'd like to detect anything that's going on here.
Guys, these dice.
Listen, you have a good modifier.
Yeah, thank God. 14.
You can tell that she's kind of... You've spent some time in your mother's alchemy shop. You spent time around her. You understand her mannerisms. And you can see that she's sort of like, not sweating, but she seems a little clammy and uncertain of things as she's sort of like pawing the table and kind of like wiping stuff too much. Yeah, no, I didn't want this to happen, but I guess it's what must be done. He must pay for his crimes, I guess.
You guess.
Yeah, I guess.
Do I have a bottle with me, right? Yeah, I think I would have picked it up.
Yep.
Alright, let's go. I'll put this on the table and I'm like, well, do you know anything about this?
You see just an instant. Where'd you get that?
Do you know anything about this?
Can't lie to you. Yeah. It's stupid fool. Leaving evidence behind. It's no matter, it's no one of importance. It was just someone I paid off.
Oh God. Who did you pay off? Mom, who did you pay off? You said you can't lie to me. I need to know what's going on.
Look. I understand your desire to have your father suffer for his suffer the consequences of his actions. But he's the only one who's gonna keep us safe. There are things you do not understand. You're a smart girl, but there's much more. So yes, I had him swap out the poison for a fake death.
So, how long are the effects supposed to linger of what they gave him?
A couple of days. He's being transported somewhere safe now.
I think at this point, I don't know. I feel like I'm just so frustrated with her. Like, I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I'll just storm out of there. Just be done talking to her in a huff. Like.
As you're storming out the door, she goes, "Wait, there's something you should know."
Well?
I never told you this before. Because I thought it was too dangerous. And I didn't want to see you pulled into chaos, but I guess you're in it now.
Oh, we're in it.
You need to follow and find your half-sister, Avanya.
Jaw drop. What? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, you heard me. you have a half-sister who's incredibly powerful, and the Grey Withers want her.
And why was this kept a secret for this long?
So that no one would find out?
Right, Mom. Sass. So where is she?
If you're gonna give it, I'm gonna give it right back, honey.
Apples not fall far from the tree. Okay, so where is she now? I'm assuming you want me to keep an eye on her or figure out what's going on and keep her safe. So where is she? Or do you not even know that?
Unfortunately, I don't know that.
What's the last thing you did know?
Because she's not mine. She's his.
Well, that's not a surprise, unfortunately.
No one can find out about any of this.
Alright. I get it.
We fade out.
It's getting dark.
Dark twins right here. Dark vibes.
All of the daylights.
Windscale with Nixel. No! It went super dark real quick. I'm so excited. I got all for it.
Alrighty, excellent.
Oh,
So
boy.
with that, we're gonna move on. We're gonna lighten up the mood a little bit.
Never mind.
To get it out.
Not everyone's all dark.
Dark and twisty.
And we're actually gonna go to the lands, to the Veshlands now. And we're gonna go to a little place. Gax, Arat, will you please tell us what your character looks like?
Gax is a male lizard folk. He's about 6 feet plus tall. He has very deep green scales with a bunch of like mismatched brown ones put in. He wears this like leather patchwork cloak on top of him. He carries this nice wooden staff as he walks around. You can always smell a scent of like herbs on him. And all over his body he has like a bunch of different like pouches and stuff like that all around him.
Old Spice coming in.
The description with the music.
Does he have a jaw?
He's a lizard
Yes.
folk, so,
Does he have a jawline?
So yeah, he does.
Oh
It's
yeah.
a lizard jaw.
Yeah, it's just a lizard jaw.
Most protruding of all.
Excellent. All right, Gax. You are actually chilling. You're vibing in the swamplands with Master Bubby. Your turtle master, Bubby. These swamplands here are not your typical swamp. It's not gross looking and muddied down everywhere. It's actually more of like a jungle. There's some tall trees in the background, but Master Bubby's house sort of sits on these stilts that are sitting in like a large like lake-ish area where he, quite frankly, all the time just like strips down and just jumps right into the lake from his stilt house. And you're in this like sort of very nicely decorated house. He's Master Bubby's a turtle, obviously. He's got this like yellowish kimono on that has some nice like beige patching going on with florets and just very elegant looking turtle. And in the background you can also see his buddy. It's a grung named Ribbit, and he's just over there on this like kind of like old-fashioned piano, just playing some jazz in the background. You can see on the piano there's like tons of like kind of corrodedness on the pianos just from his acidic nature. Obviously, you know that if you were to touch a grung, you'd sort of like poison yourself, essentially. But yeah, so we have got Master Bubby in here, just laying down. The opening to the house is kind of just open, and it's nighttime. You can see that the stars are out, all of that, and Gax, why don't you just come lay down? And you can see he goes. If you want to make a perception on what he's smoking, you can.
Well. 24.
24. So what he's actually smoking, it looks like it's some sort of amber salt. And you actually know this in the lizard folk community as it's kind of like a chili powder. You would use it to spice up your food a little bit, but what you're noticing now is that he's using it as something to smoke, and you're not quite sure of what it does when you smoke it. And he's enticing you to sort of come over, sort of lay with him so that he can teach you about herbal remedies and the stars and nature in general and how to be attuned to it. And he invites you to have a smoke with him.
Do it.
You can't say no.
I can say no to the Zen torch.
I start making my way over to my master.
Singing on a different tongue.
You can see the kimono sort of rides just a bit too high at points. He's just living life.
Master, I think it's only right you share. And then I'll sit down next to him.
Certainly. Come lay down. Ribbit, would you get us another doobie?
Hearing that, Gax just like.
Ribbit brings you a roll and hands it to you, and he lights it for you.
Looking at it.
You breathe it in, and it's a little bit spicy. Actually, you're going to take a little bit of damage here, 3 points of radiant damage. But you also, as it hits you, this wave of just emotion comes over your entire body and just sits in the pit of your stomach. And you're actually going to have a temporary bonus of +2 to your charisma for about an hour.
Okay.
And sorry, I'm coughing again.
You were Master
Both.
What's that?
You were Master
Damn! This spice is kicking it this evening.
Struggling there much.
Look, to acquire knowledge, young boy, one must study, but to acquire wisdom, one must observe and observe, and I am.
Well, I can't leave you alone in this. And then goes back at it.
Excellent. So, what troubles you? This is mid plague shit going on.
Okay. Is this before or after I found out everything, I guess?
This is before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Master, I think shouldn't we do something? Shouldn't we try and stop this? I've been racking my brain trying to figure out what we can use to put together to heal this world. But
You have no response for a bit, as he sort of keeps just smoking. And then he speaks up. You see the stars?
okay, look up. I guess lay back. Yeah.
The stars, they can't shine without darkness, can they, Kex?
No, they can't.
So I think the answer to your question is that while it is rather upsetting, unfortunate, these events that are passing, at some point a star will shine through. Perhaps that star is you.
I don't know. I've tried to help so many within the clutch. And all I bring up is more questions than answers. And it's...
Speak up, dear boy, I can't quite hear you.
I've been trying to help out the clutch so much that I can't... I feel like it's weighing me down. This plague, this time, this horrific thing. And I know that within darkness, there's a ray of hope at the end of it, but it's just tough to see it right now, I guess.
Indeed. I suppose you just need to sit and meditate. You'll think of something. I know that the lizard folk are adept and in tune with nature itself, far more than even me at times.
Well, I hardly doubt that, looking at you now.
I suppose, possibly.
Maybe
You know, Gex. Were you saying something?
I was gonna say, maybe it is time that I do sit and meditate on this for a little bit, but please, go ahead.
You know, another reason I love the stars.
Tell me.
Because they can't say anything. I love them because they do not judge anyone.
True. They only show the way, don't they?
Precisely.
Dex will leave that area quickly.
Follow the stars, dear boy!
I'll walk out to where he has his little diving board to go into the lake, and I'll sit down there and finish off the doobie that my master so graciously gave me.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So actually, as time passes and you're sort of sitting there, eventually about half an hour goes by, and you get another urge within the pit of your stomach, and it spreads out through your limbs, and they feel just like iron. And you have this intense urge to go do anything physical. Just anything.
Yeah. Having this feeling arise in Gax puts out the doobie, jumps off even with his clothes on, and I'm gonna start hunting for herbs.
As you jump in, you're going off the thing.
No way!
I'm coming in! Leaps about 10 feet off his thing and just cannonballs straight in. Ah, so refreshing.
Seeing this, Gax like puts his hands to his face and goes, I'm thinking, how did I end up in this situation?
As he's laying back, you realize that he doesn't have any clothes on at this point, and he pulls like a lily pad over and just like covers his junk, and that's it. As we fade out of clouds.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I was not expecting that.
Oh man.
Good old Master Bubby.
Master Bubby, like, decal stickers coming
See, when I was trying to like come up with an idea for him, I was like, oh, he's gonna be like Master Oogway. Like this would be great. He'd be like wise and sage. Nah, he's just a massive all the time. And just
Oh, man.
It's funny, I was telling them about another time that basically like he's not gonna know what's coming to him with his master at all.
Yeah, I still didn't know.
Yeah, I think the best part is too when you started talking like and like just doing everything. I had a voice for Gax in my head. I completely forgot. I was like, okay.
All right, so we're gonna keep on with Vesh, and we're gonna move to our other lizard folk character, Aragar. That's how you say your name?
Aragar, yeah.
All right. So let me turn this down a little bit. Aragar. You have been traveling alone for quite some time. Same time where the plague has already begun and you have left in a hurry. You're traveling through the dunelands. There's a lot of wind and sand that's just smashing into your face, kind of stings a little bit. And in the distance, you can see two individuals, one chasing the other. They're just sort of sprinting at full speed towards you. Actually, I forgot. Please explain your character. I completely skipped that.
In the desert wind, as he's walking, you see a tall, similar to Gax's height, tall, well-built lizard man with brown scales. But his posture is terrible, like he's been hunched for too long.
Kind of like me.
He has a, actually I don't know what the timeline would be, but he has a purple curse marking on his left arm, and he does not know what this is, or what it says. His eyes are almost a vibrant red, and his attire is not dissimilar to someone you would see on the streets in his hometown, like just bumming around. He wears tattered shorts. His upper body is covered in torn bandages that have been slowly bandaged over and over in layers of just wounds and stuff like that.
Just kind of rags and scraps.
Just holding onto whatever scraps he can to maintain some kind of protection against the sand. And he looks horrible, like he's been, like you said, walking for weeks, just surviving, scraping by.
Excellent. As these rags were flowing in the wind, you see these individuals just hauling ass towards you. What do you do?
observe until they get fairly close, and after maybe once they get close to like 30 or 20 feet, I go, "Stop! Do not approach me anymore."
As you say that, there's this kind of like massive boulder that's kind of like lurched to the side a little bit. And they are obviously in some sort of fight. The one in the back is kind of chasing them with magic, kind of casting spells here and there. And the other one is carrying what looks to be a very robust, almost darkened, like charcoal flail. It's got this large, bulbous kind of head to it that's got this red center core that's just shining bright, and along like the steel chain connects to another handle that has kind of like runes and glyphs that are sort of shining on it. As you speak those words, the one who's being chased is essentially falls down, gets hit by some sort of spell, as the other one starts to encroach closer. You hear a voice psychically in your head. Go. Come, retrieve me. I need something now. I will not be taken back. And it's a draconic voice.
Hearing that, seeing the altercation, I sprint towards the man who just, the man or person who just collapsed. I try to reach for the weapon.
Okay. As you were getting closer, don't you dare touch that weapon. As you reach and grab for it, you hear in your head once more, I apologize for the massive headache you are about to have. As you feel an enormous surge of power course through your grip up into it, sort of sizzles that runic sigil that's in your arm and just courses through the rest of your body, reaching a point in the center of your head. As you pick this up and look at the person telling you not to pick it up, he sort of trembles a little bit. Stop, please. I need that. Give it back. Don't listen to what it has to tell you.
Why should I believe you?
That thing you're carrying is far more dangerous than anything in this world. Don't listen to him. He's trying to imprison me once more. Give in, and I can grant you power.
It says you're trying to imprison him.
It speaks lies. You cannot trust it. Please.
It's a moment that I look like I'm about to raise the handle just a bit. And then I pull back and wind up and swing overhead.
You're gonna swing overhead. Excellent. Roll me an attack.
Excellent. Okay.
He doesn't have to rewrite his notes.
That's gonna be an 11.
An 11?
Yeah.
So you swing at him. The mage moves dexterously as to not get hit. And you hear in your voice, just relax. breathe in and speak the words Flankesh.
Go for it. I take 2 steps forward.
Flankesh! No, please! As you feel a giant burst of energy of silver light that just like a laser beam out of the front of your skull. It smashes directly into him, and I'm gonna have you roll 7d6. This is Ralothim's psychic lance. You're also going to need to roll a Constitution saving throw so that you can see what happens before you pass out.
Nope. The luck still sticks around. And by that I mean no luck at all.
Wait. What did you roll with mine?
Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. So my dice is bad. Yeah, your dice is bad. My dice is good.
It's like 3 different people's dice. What do you want me to
But he
tell
got
you?
the highest on mine.
I don't know, your rolls earlier were too.
But it worked good for someone else.
That's 16 points of what? Oh, sorry, 18 points of damage.
18 points of psychic damage.
No, it was 16. Sorry, it was 16. Sorry.
16 points?
Yeah.
You see.
Constitution save.
Oh, yeah, Constitution saving throw, please.
That was a little better. 14.
14? Cool. The DC was 15, so unfortunately you are not going to see what happens.
Go. Yeah, that's
you see
appropriate.
until you wake up.
Sorry.
As this silver beam of light just straight out like a laser beam reaches this man who basically falls down as you're falling down. Eventually a few hours go by and you sort of wake up, kind of brush off the sand that's on your face. You're still holding this flail in your hand. As you get up, you notice that the other person across at you is also murdered on the ground. So now you have 2 dead bodies that are just across each other.
I'm assuming in kind of a delirious, maybe like a slightly dizzied state, he's gonna. It's the middle of the desert. He's gonna walk to the bodies and just inspect to see if there's anything on that indicates what's just.
Yeah. So give me an investigation check.
9.
It's a dead body. It's pretty easy to rummage through around. And you've got all the time in the world, so you think. You're a little bit delirious, like you said, and on the body that had the flail before, both of these people are dragonborn. One looks slightly younger than the other. The one that's younger is the one that was killed first. However, the one that's more intriguing to you is the older one who was wearing a mask. And it has kind of like it almost is kind of like that V for Vendetta mask where it's got like that goatee and kind of those like sharp pointy eyes, but it's blackened, and those spots that would be like markings and stuff like that are red, and they've kind of got those like sigils on them as well. Also rummaging around through his kind of like monastic robes, you see a book, and as you're flipping through it, you can't read any of this. It looks like an old language, but you can't read any of it. As you pick up the book, do not lose that. It has secrets that we need to uncover.
I wasn't planning on losing it.
Speak like me now.
This infernal headache you've given me.
My apologies. As we leave the sands, the dunes of Vesh.
First kill.
First kill. Nice. Was it truly you? You don't know. But yeah, first kill. It was in your hand. Came out of your head. We are going to move next to the Asgoran mainlands, where we will meet our paladin friend. Please explain what you look like. Zarzeros Drazar.
Yes. Zarzeros is a male gem dragonborn. He's got sapphire crystal stones and different hues of blue on his head as they kind of create an amalgamation out of the back of his head, with two horns that are pretty white that come out the sides as well. He's got a silvery blue shine to his scales, and he's got a small scar on his cheek. He's got draconic blue eyes with black pupils, and he's about 6'8". He's tall. He's got some heavy armor on and a large shield that is pretty much his height. And on that shield is a symbol of a silver dragon.
Sweet. Excellent. So you, Zarzeros, you have woken up early in the morning within the Asgoran Mecca, the large city that lies in the Asgoran capital. Just outside of the Mecca are the fountains of her mercy. You can see kind of like the sun that's starting to peek from behind the Talon Mountains that loom overhead. There's the Asgoran fountain. These fountains of her mercy are just beautiful. They're kind of like gazebos that have just been, they have flowers and bits of ferns and things everywhere. There's fountains that are just letting out glistening water. And you can, it's cold enough that you can sort of see the breath coming out from your mouth as you're sort of just breathing lightly. And you're meditating, and you are meditating on kind of the tragic event that transpired with your mentor, Thunsandil. As you're remembering, and the visions of this are clouding your meditations in the morning, you're just replaying this murder that occurred in your head. You are reminded of what the pale-skinned elf looked like, and his long flowing black hair that draped down with his dark leathers. You also remember a scene before. Basically, you're upset with yourself about that you couldn't be there in time. You were told to wait. Thunsandil had asked you to wait, that he had hoped that he could change this person's mind. And you remember the black, just obsidian scimitars that shined with moonlight that he used as you came out just a little bit too late as you see him lunge and plunge this scimitar straight through Fonsando. I'm going to have you roll a charisma saving throw. Okay. Having rolled a nat 1, I think as you're trying to choke down the thoughts and keep true to yourself sitting in the fountains of her mercy, you're still new to it all, and Fonsando was your peace, the person who was teaching you how to deal with what you had done in the past, and you just start to grind your teeth in revenge instead, as you're envisioning this scenario in your head. You start to recall the memories of that night that you murdered this kobold in cold blood. And when you finally shake that thought of revenge and anger, you finally get your head and your bearings, and the end of the memory is just you holding Fonsando, and he has already passed. He hasn't said anything to you. You can't recall what he told you, what he said in his final moments. How do you feel about this situation?
Frustrated, I can't remember. And I want revenge, but I have to remember who I am now.
As you're struggling with this in the cold morning air, sort of pacing back and forth, I imagine, the sun starts to peek up a little bit, and out as it comes just out, you get that kind of like blinding light, as like, you know, when you're driving and you sort of like just hit that right spot where it's just like and you can't see anything in front of you. That's the kind of light that hits you, and as you're staring into it, Tamara's essence reveals herself to you. And as you see her beautiful, slick dragon form, platinum dragon, this kind face. Some dragons can look rather vicious. She does not. She approaches you in this kind of spectral form, and her voice hits you kind of like the warm sun hitting your skin on a cold morning, that just sends those kinds of like ripples of warmth and grace all through your body, giving you kind of these shivers and chills. She says, "There is so much good yet to do. So many that can still be redeemed, Zarzeros, and given a second chance. You must remember honor and forbearance for oneself."
My lady, I will strive for these things. I may not be perfect, but I will strive.
I know you will. That is why you have become one of my chosen. A chosen paladin of her mercy. My mercy. I do not grant these willy-nilly, as they say in the mortal realms. Be at peace, young one. There's much to do. You cannot squander it. Sans Andal would want you to make sure you do not squander it.
But he had a purpose.
And he took that to his grave. Didn't he?
He did.
make sure it is not in vain. And keep your thoughts aligned with how we should act towards those that do us wrong. And with that, she disapparates into dust, sort of like shimmering sparkles that just sort of fade into the distance, the light just blinding you in the face once more. As you're sort of coming down from this encounter, and you're getting yourself sort of ready to get ready for the day, approaching you is Dildrich Avicii, one of your, I guess, best buds. As he sees you in the distance, I thought I'd find you here. Are you okay?
I'm always here.
You're here a bit early. When I didn't see you back home, I suppose
I needed time to think.
I'm gonna roll insight if you were trying to deceive him of the encounter that you just had. Basically, are you trying to keep your inner thoughts down, or are you openly expressing your feelings?
I'll be pretty open. I'm not trying to conceal anything. I just have some thoughts.
You seem a little disheartened. Are you alright? Truly.
This morning while I was meditating, I wasn't able to keep my calm. My peace.
Well, you're still learning.
I know, but ever since he died, it hasn't been the same. It hasn't been as easy.
Look, if it's any consolation, you've been through a lot. I stubbed my fucking toe, and I'm cursing everything around and within me. I think you should catch yourself a little bit of a break. Come, why don't we go to the Pearly Fang Tavern and have some breakfast?
Yeah, that sounds delicious.
Awesome. I'm starving. As you guys walk off towards the Pearly Fang Tavern to grab a bite to eat, we sort of fade out. And last but not least, we leave the best for last. Hold on. We'll go to Bosco. Please introduce us to your character.
Bosco is a halfling. He's about 3 feet tall. Some of the most notable things about Bosco and his appearance is he wears around this human-sized kettle helmet that covers his eyes. He's losing some hair, so he just wears it, and he's like, there's always looking up, kinda. There's a really, really beautiful mustache. I mean, it is really thick, like the kind that gets mustard in it and stuff. That's the mustache he's got. Everything else is pretty standard to a halfling. He's very outdoorsy, so most of the stuff he carries is relating to that.
Cool. Excellent. Bosco, you're actually chilling in the nest right now. Excuse me. There's a buttload of people in here, and it is for one thing only. There's a celebration that's going to commence soon for the inauguration of Macy Shadowmouse. She's to become magistrate of Port Vishar. The general vibe of the place is kind of just talking like, what's it gonna be like? Where's the drugs? Like, can we get another ale? Like, what the hell is going on here? all of a sudden, wham! Through the door, 2 people emerge. As kind of the chattering stops, you see one individual. They're both about the same height, about 3'4", but Coric Blackraven, who is the leader of the Crow's Vigil, he's got this very illustrious, just blonde hair that's just nicely done. It looks too proper and dapper. It's very suave and pulled to the side. He's got these crystal blue eyes. He looks very nicely put together. He's wearing a wonderfully red peacoat with these blue frills on the cuffs and the collar area. And he's strutting in alongside, kind of got his arm wrapped around Macy Shadowmouse, who's got this wonderful, like, black, wavy, bushy hair. And she's got a tattoo on her that's got 3 stripes along her eyes. She's got brown eyes. And she's wearing a bunch of just dark leathers. However, you can also see on her, give me a perception check.
18.
You can clock this pretty easily. She's got a interesting contraption on both arms. And actually with an 18, you can sort of see it on underneath the peacoat. You can see kind of like the border of it on Corix as well. They have this contraption that looks as if it has like a hidden blade. It's a gauntlet that goes around on both arms with a hidden blade in it that would come out. Or projectile, you're not quite sure. You've not experienced it firsthand. Court comes in. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate an exceptional milestone in the journey of our dear friend, Macy Shadowmouse. To see you ascend to such an esteemed role of magistrate fills us all with immense pride and joy. Your dedication, wisdom, and unwavering commitment to justice have not only shaped you into a remarkable leader, but also an inspiring beacon for us all. Isn't that right, guys and gals? Oh! As they all sort of like heave their hands up in the air. As you step into this new role, know that you have our unwavering support and admiration. May your tenure be filled with fair judgments, compassionate decisions, and the continued betterment of our community. Here's to you, Macy, and to the bright future you will shape as our new magistrate. Boys and gals, let's start the dancing. As the band kicks in, the tavern in the brew and stew starts handing out drinks willy-nilly all over the place. People are coming by, grabbing them, spilling them all over the joint. And you can see them sort of start like a tap dance, line dance going on here, getting all jiggy. Make a nature check. So, with a 22, actually, as all of this hustle and bustle and commotion is going on and everything's starting up, you can also see that someone in one of the corners is passing out what looks to be some sort of drug that is called snuff. And it's kind of rolled up, and it's got this kind of like amber salt to it.
Oh yeah, this place kind of sucks. I think I'm gonna go get some of that.
Oh boy.
Holy shit.
Bosco's gonna walk to the corner, and I mean, he's...
So there you see kind of like, you actually see Welby Witherby. Kind of that grumpy old. He's known to be like the guy who goes out and hunts with a bunch of halfling dudes and just like brings back game and hunts for fun, brings back tusks and things.
I'm aware of who he is.
And he's like, "You got payment?"
You know I'm not the breadwinner. You know Darley makes most of the money. I don't have any gold on me. I thought I was gonna get some free drinks here. What if I help you on one of your tours for the hunt one day? And because you know I like to hunt myself.
Wow, I don't even think I need drugs anymore. That voice is nauseating. I think I might just give you them for free to get you out of my face. Here you go, son. Take it. Maybe it might fix you a little bit.
I didn't think you'd be so damn rude.
Woof. Enjoy.
Bosco's gonna just walk away into the crowd.
Try not to let your balls drop.
Bosco's gonna, and take the drug.
All right.
And,
So you're actually gonna take some damage as well.
drops.
You're gonna take 4 points of radiant damage.
He takes it in a lower voice.
Oh, yeah.
As you feel this as you take your first hit, this spiciness just hits you like a brick wall. It's almost like you could breathe out flame. And then you have this effect where it sits in your stomach, and you just feel absolutely jubilant. You can see in the distance, Macy Shadow Mouse is just sort of like starting to get into the swing of things, dancing around. There's a couple of other like girls around or guys around, whatever your fancy is, and
I'm Bosco, feeling is gonna walk right over to the new magistrate, and I'm gonna start, one-on-one dancing. Well, there is some, I want to do a little investigation, like what's this going on here with her.
so you're gonna get a little handsy.
Yes, actually. Holding hands, maybe pulling up the
Basically,
streets.
and as part of the dance, you're trying to like grab it and feel like.
Maybe in a twirl or something. Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Give me a sleight of hand check. Oh, so what's your name?
Yes, that's what I was hoping.
And 11.
So what's your name?
My name's Bosco. I see you walked in with my boss.
Give me a performance check as well to see how well your dancing is.
A 13.
A 13? Good enough. This isn't a normal dance for you guys. You are quite a fine dancer.
Oh yeah.
Do you like the... You sound like fucking Mickey Mouse.
Or Ronald McDonald in that video.
Yeah, Ronald McDonald, but a bitch slap someone. You're quite a fine dancer. As you rolled an 11, she sort of raises her eyebrow a little bit as you kind of continue to like dance and twirl. As she moves on, though, she doesn't really like second glance it or anything like that. She's not like confused or like upset, at least from what you can tell, of what kind of feeling you were doing there. Excuse me. Actually, so we're...
Is she trying to get away from me at this point? Like,
No, it's just part of the dance. So she's moved down the line. Basically, you got your time with Macy Shadow Mouse, who is going to become the essential magistrate or governor of this entire joint. she doesn't come into the nest very often, but give me actually a history check. She doesn't come in here very often, but it's a bit unusual that she has an affinity towards the crow's visual.
Yeah, I thought
That isn't negative. Like, she has compassion towards the crow's vigil, and she understands what they do, but she's trying. Her motive or her dedication towards it, which is why Korik was so happy, is the fact that she's having her in that place will hopefully shine a better light upon the crow's vigil within Port Vishar. At least that's her goal. And that could be of her own just intentions, or it could strictly be the fact that there's something deeper at play and that she has an affinity towards the crow's vigil for some other reason. And with that, we are going to move to the brunt and the start of our campaign. Now that we have introduced everyone's characters. But first, let's take a break. And we're back. So, we're going to jump over to Nixel. You have found your way to the harbor just outside of Port Vishar. You know your task. You know your signs. And in the distance, you can see that ship with the blackbird on it. As you look around you, make a quick perception check.
Ooh, that's a 3.
As you look around you, you're trying to... You thought you had someone with you. And they're just gone. And it could be that it was all a dream. You're not quite sure how the magic within the Fey Dark works when you move to the material plane.
That's it. I must be going insane.
You're in this kind of like, almost like lagoon. There's a small hill that loops over the edge of it. That's kind of like blocking your view of Port Vishar itself. You can see its walled gates, but that's about it. And then off to the side, if you were to glance around it, you'd see the harbor. What do you do?
Well, first, Nixel would take care to make sure that he was nice and dry. Perhaps he'd start wiping off his robes and his pants, just squeezing out extra moisture, as much extra moisture as he can. Kind of try to get a little more presentable, and then he'd turn around one last time and look at the pool that he was in, and he'd just shake his head and then turn around and start walking down to Port Vishar towards and he's got his eye locked on this ship and the sails with the blackbird on it, and he can't put two and two together, but he knows what he saw and he knows what he's seeing, and he wants to find answers, so he's headed to Port Vishar to get it.
Excellent. So yeah, actually, so as you're walking, you can see Port Vishar's kind of large walls. Before that, on the outside of it, you see multiple tents of just what looks to be kind of like almost sick individuals, and so in that regard, probably scoot further away from them and lean more towards the harbor side. As you go along the edge of the wall, you notice that there's a bunch of kind of like shops that are on the outside of it. There's guards at the post waiting to check people in to Port Vishar. And as you continue by, you spot a shop that piques kind of your interest. And it's being run by this short halfling. Honestly, she's rather attractive for a halfling. Though you don't have much experience with them, you kind of equate them similar to a gnome, but you know that they're not gnomes. But what's intriguing about their shop is that it's filled with all these kind of like interesting paintings and mechanical objects. She has kind of beautiful like brown hair. She's wearing kind of like almost like a kitchen maid's outfit, and she's got like a couple of trinkets and wristbands that are just sort of like on her arms, and she's busy talking to make a perception check for me.
Please be better. 9.
9, I see. You see she's talking to people, but most of the people that are actually engaged in her works are those with money, the wealthy. And most of the people around seem to be elvish. Not any specific type of elf, just elves. There are humans. There are a couple of dragonborn nearby as well. But you see this shop as you pass by it.
Being interested in anything related to machinery and gears, Nixel would stop for a while and probably just observe the people shopping and asking questions.
Are you trying to stay hidden doing this?
No. He's more just trying to observe how they're interacting with the shopkeeper.
It's very formal. The gist you're getting from it is that, like, these people have money, they're new to the port, and they're looking for things to furnish their homes. A lot of the conversation stems around kind of like, basically like, this is a hand-drawn painting, I do it all myself, it's a one-of-a-kind piece, or these mechanical objects, like, these are just kind of trinkets that you see a couple of like random interesting trinkets, kind of, you see one thing that's kind of got like this corkscrew on it, and you see her take like a metal can and sort of like twist it, kind of like a can opener would.
Okay. Nixel's, he's interested, but then he'll look down at his robe, at the bee pin that he wears.
As you're looking down at that, that's when she walks over. Well, you're damn right fashionable. Are you looking for anything in particular? Excuse me, I'm Darley Autumnflow. I run this stand. Could I interest you?
I'm certainly interested, however, I'm not sure that I fit the status quo for your clientele.
Well, you've got the look.
Look is one thing, dearie. Having the money is the other.
Where is your pistol?
It's in the holster on my right hip.
So is it visible?
I would say it's underneath the robe that's pulled.
But you're carrying a bunch of, like, tools and shit with you, right?
Right. This robe is absolutely just weighted down by as many fucking gears and cogs as Nixel can carry with him.
Alright.
Just random bits and bobs.
Well, are you new here?
That's one way of putting it.
You don't look like the usual lot we get around here. Where are you from?
I'd prefer to keep that to myself. For
Fair
the
enough,
time being.
fair enough. I'm not going to pry. I will say, you've got a lot of fine gadgets and bits and bobs in there. Mind if I inquire? I'm fascinated by them.
As am I. Which is why I carry them around with me.
This might come out a bit strange, since we've just met. But I'm trying to make this contraption at my home. But I need a bit of lavrosite for it. It won't work without it. I know there's some deep in the savannah, but it's too dangerous to go there right now. And my partner's not able to go alone by himself. I could show you what I'm working on if you'd have dinner. I'll cook it right up. I'm sure Bosco has found something.
I'll tell you what. Dinner sounds lovely. I'm famished.
Excellent. That's great news. Well, not that you're famished, but that you'll come for dinner.
And we'll see what we can do about your design.
If you've got some time, you can hang around. I'm gonna close up shop quite soon. Gotta lug all this shit back.
And who did you say Bosco was?
Oh, that's my partner.
Alright.
Another halfling like me.
Alright. How much time do I have? When should I return?
Well, I figured since you don't know your way around these parts that you could just follow me, and I'm gonna probably go and look and try and find him. He's probably somewhere in the fucking nest.
Nixel is going to visibly look out at the bay, towards the sail, the ship that's coming in, and say, well, all right.
Fine and dandy. As she starts to sort of finish up her final transactions, you could obviously inquire if you felt it, or you could just sort of sit nearby and wait. Time is of no concern to the Fae. You guys live for practically forever.
Literally forever, actually.
So, yeah. The rest of the group, we're going to shift away from Nixel for now. Zarzeros, Aries and Cedric, you guys can see that there's two kind of like, you've already done your sort of check-ins. You guys can be reminded that in your prior session that Cedric had used a false name, the name Benar, and you guys can see approaching towards, as you're getting off of like the walkway or the ramp that leads down to the main beach. You can see two lizard folk that are sort of like swimming their way over.
Oh, we did that. I remember. I completely forgot we did that.
We just ran across the river.
They're just sort of swimming, towards the beach that you guys are. It's pretty close to the boat,
Wait, they're going towards the beach or the boat?
Towards the beach, but
From what? From the ocean?
from the ocean, from the other side. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Seems a bit
Yeah, we
strange.
And you, Zarzeros, you would know that it's a common occurrence that this is how the lizard folk travel across for the most part. If they're not
Not
transporting,
strange.
It's not strange.
if they're not transporting goods. Basically, the guard's like, well, welcome to. And again, the guard is sort of dressed in a kettle helm. He's got this orange brigandine armor. And he's holding like a spear. He's like, welcome to Port Vishar. No funny business. If you need anything, ask one of the guards. If you're looking for residency, your best spot most likely would be the raised roof, but it's tight pickings right now. There's not much room, not much space. I'm sure that they've upped the price for residency. Otherwise, good luck, and stay clear of the slums. There's some sort of weird plague going on, infecting the halflings. As he moves on and gets his, you see Anago Bunt is still sort of lugging shit, and he sees Bosco as well in the corner. He's like, Bosco, would you mind bringing this one to the nest?
Oh yeah, I'll get right
I
to
own new armor.
Alright. I guess anything for you.
Good boy, you little pipsqueak.
Is Bosco on the ship or this is like
On the dock.
Oh, on the dock.
Yeah.
It's very kind of you to get me new armor. Thank you.
Don't mention it. You
Don't
saved me
ever
life.
do that much for me.
You all saved me life. I wouldn't be here without you also.
Yes, Aries.
I'm just trying to remember what I got out of this whole deal, but alright. New armor.
I
Lovely.
kind of not pull my hand up, but kind of like side mouth over to Zarzeros. You still have that stone? The stone fire.
We did not beat up and remember. I totally forgot.
As you guys are sort of
The one that I wrapped in the blanket.
It's in there. It's in there. Don't worry about it.
I'm assuming you're saying this as you're kind of like walking down.
Yeah.
I'm not like right in front of.
Yeah, you guys have moved on, and this conversation is happening.
Illegal contraband on
Is he escorting us? Bosco?
I'm just showing him the way. Yes.
Alright.
So who are you?
My name's Bosco. I work for Aragar. You know, I just unload chips and shit.
Cedric just stares. Not in a rude way, more in a perplexed way.
I'm really glad that I asked.
Hey, you know, don't make my day any weirder. I just, if you only knew, I was fighting a crab about 2 hours ago.
Oh my god.
We feel your pain and we have to fight a squid.
Why would you saved my boss's life? And to be quite honest, I've been plotting to kill him.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry we killed the squid.
We're gonna make our way to the nest.
Oh,
Oh my god.
You, as they're walking down this road, you hear nothing. It's close. I can feel it.
what's close?
Find that stone to repair me.
Are you okay?
I don't respond initially, but I do scan the entire length that I can see of the docks and what goes into the city.
Give me an Arcana check.
12?
You can definitely, you know, you've had your kind of like visions of shit in the past, and you're looking at this flail as you sort of emerge from the water, and you have, as you're sort of attuned with this weapon, you get this strange shiver that just goes over you. If you never felt this kind of shiver before, it's not one of those like cold shivers. It's kind of like a like you pricked a needle kind of shiver, and it kind of turns your head a weird way, and you get this like inkling of like it's near this large group that's coming down this ramp. But you can't pinpoint where it actually is. It's not like a radar sense. It's more of like a
General
gut,
feeling.
a gut instinct of being drawn to something.
You see me scan, and then as soon as my face turns towards the large group, it locks, and I'm just watching them for another. Depending how long you would let that still before you say anything.
Who are they?
We need to follow that group.
Okay.
So they're following us now. Can I roll a perception check to see if I realize this?
I was about to ask the same
Wouldn't that be
thing.
bad?
Yeah. I mean, if you are trying to stealthily track them,
I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take a lazy kind of follow, so maybe a decent distance back,
Okay.
and kind of move
Okay.
between the different crowds.
Alright, so then yeah, with a DC 15, if you guys want to roll perception, you can get this sense of an idea that this person is kind of like almost tracking you.
I'm rolling
Like
for
you catch.
perception.
I got a 12. I have no idea.
I'd say I'm not stealthing, but I'm just like trying to kind of, like I said, lazy follow.
Yeah.
I got an 18.
I'm absolutely not stealthing. I'm just walking in the middle.
Why don't you get, actually, instead of the DC 15, give me a deception check. And we'll use that as the DC.
Okay.
Perfect!
I haven't rolled many double digits today, and it's not starting now. 9.
A 9. So 9 is the DC now.
That's a good stat too.
Everybody knows.
What'd you roll?
A 5.
11.
11, 12,
Oh, okay,
18,
okay.
18. So you get this like sense that you're obviously running from something,
More on edge.
and you're a little bit, your senses are heightened. You get this gut feeling as you turn behind you. You keep feeling this lizard folk group progressing towards you
Is
guys.
staring into my soul.
And
I would say
I would say
stick
he's
out
not
more.
hiding it very well.
Yeah, I would say I stick out more than Dax does.
And you see these beady red eyes that are just sort of like almost staring at you too intently.
So I turn around and he's like,
Pretty much.
Our
And
Cedric
he said he was kind of like a hunched over lizard folk. He doesn't stand up straight like this one does. He's kind of like snarling almost.
Cedric's, is his reaction to all this noticeable to everyone else in the group, or is it just like,
I would say so, yeah.
Okay.
Knowing that Zarzeros is of the area, I turn to Zero like, friends of yours? As I get his attention.
Can't say that I know any lizard folk very well, but I mean, they do like to swim, so why they're following us, I couldn't tell you.
Can I do an insight check to see if I notice them noticing us?
Noticing me. Yes.
100%, yeah.
Like, yo.
You can try and
No, you.
Fine, notice me. I got a
Just
9.
fucking shock.
I rolled a 3.
against your deception.
Okay. Wait, all of us?
Oh,
or
just
just
for
one
him.
of us?
Like, he didn't notice, but he asked, but we noticed.
Yeah, who's?
Just you. Yeah.
My deception?
Yeah.
Nat 20.
No.
Yeah, no, it's definitely he's hiding it well enough that like you think that you're still following these people and they haven't quite noticed you.
Yeah. I think for
And you don't even get the sense that they feel endangered.
I think for
I'm
Dax,
gonna
he's
say
more
I'm not
concerned
even
about
rolling.
like trying to catch up to him.
Yeah, I'm not even rolling because I'm too actually just locked in on what I'm sensing.
Alright. As you guys progress towards through the center of the city, or the town, this town opens up, and you can see something just moved. Did the camera move? It might have.
No, you don't have
Okay. So, you guys can see this wondrous port. It's very aesthetically pleasing, honestly, and it looks like new architecture. You have these dense, just hearty, dark, almost black wood buildings that have like these kind of clay roofs on them that are hardened into this sunburnt kind of orange. On the street obviously has like the cobblestone street in the middle for like carriages and things or wagons to go through. On the outside of it, you've got the walkways, which are kind of like more of the orange clay brick. It's got a couple of bits here and there that kind of have like almost like a yellowish hue to them. And in broad daylight, there's just wonderful like fountains nearby. There's a couple of, you see lots of people that are just passing out pamphlets and newspapers of things. You see that on the there's a couple of like posters or boards that are just posted about like a once in a lifetime experience this evening at the Sneaky Goose, and it's written very not cursive, like calligraphy. It's got that kind of nice writing on it. And you see the common folk sort of just like moving barrels about, selling food, selling art, a bunch of different things as you sort of pass towards, and you approach a building that's kind of like, it's covered in mushrooms. There's just buckets and buckets of fucking mushrooms all over the place in front of this building. And you see the door is kind of, it's smaller, it's made for a halfling, so when you guys walk in, you would have to like duck underneath to get inside. But the building itself is quite large, like a normal sized building. It's just got a small door. And yeah, so I'll leave it to Bosco to lead you guys in.
Seems like you guys are kind of walking a little hastily here. Why are you so close to me? What's going on?
As we stand outside the entrance.
Just
well,
in
the
those
crowd
tight little
doesn't want to
circles.
lose you. You're quite small.
Well,
Could be hard to find.
I'm gonna lean over and be like, what's the deal with this sneaky goose?
well, the sneaky goose, I mean, that's I think I haven't been there recently, but I think it's the apothecary in town. But here, let's go in here. This is my bud's favorite shop.
So we're gonna
This is what's favorite
My
shop?
bud, he's my best friend.
we're gonna go
Buzz.
in. So we're gonna crack the door open, and our 6'8" friend.
Get on
It's
that.
like, tries to stand up, puts his head through the roof.
Awesome. As you guys head into this room, you are smashed with a waft of just a mix of like fungus, but also like jasmine, and it's that weird balance of like it smells terrible. Oh, it smells delicious. Oh, that could be used as a cologne. That's what you're kind of getting the vibe in here, and it's not like centralized anywhere. It's just the fact of like walking through this place. It just constantly changes on you. It's not like localized to like, oh, this barrel of mushrooms smells horrible. In the corner, you see sort of chopping away. You see another halfling. He's got bushy, like bright red hair, kind of like this bulbous nose. As he looks up, oh, Bosco, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, I feel just fine after whatever I ate earlier.
Oh, that's good to know. Let me write that down in my ledger.
I brought some. They need some shit. I don't know what they need. But I'm assuming.
Who are these people? Are they your new friends?
Oh yeah, they just got off the boat.
Off the boat, really?
Off the boat.
Are they going down in the nest?
Oh yeah. To be quite honest, I had some memory loss from what I ate earlier, and I don't remember the code to get in. We're best friends, man. Can you just let me in?
Wait, hold on. Memory loss? Wait, what else did you say?
Oh no.
Memory loss?
You did say memory loss.
He scribbles it out. He just writes, memory loss? Well, you need the password. You can't get in without the password.
Come on, man. I just did some drug trials for you. Why do you need the password? Come here like every fucking day.
If you want to persuade him, roll me a persuasion check.
Go told me to come here, like.
Wait, what? Who told you?
You're not going.
You know.
I got a on persuasion 19.
19.
Yes.
Hates him super hard.
He pulls it. He says, come here. Remember the password is friend and halfling in Naka. Okay? And Naka. Remember it.
I'm gonna say,
Otherwise, I'll have to get you one of these other shrooms. That's got a bad aftertaste, and you don't want that. It'll help you remember the shit, though.
Pinocchio.
As you say that, the door just kind of like pops out from the back as it was fused kind of within the wall itself. Also, where are you two right now? Because you would have seen these people go into this store.
Yeah, I think we would have.
This is, you see Dink's, Dank, Shrooms and such.
I instantly walk up to like the front of this building, and I whip out my like leather-bound book that I have of all the ingredients that I've used, and I start like kind of cataloging every single mushroom that I find, and like don't even care about what's happened. Like my friend was just like, "Hey, we need to follow these people." I'm like, "Not anymore."
Outside or inside?
No, outside, because he said that it was covered in mushrooms and stuff like that. So I'm like looking at every single one and like trying to figure out what they can do and like what's going on with them.
Cool. Yeah.
I do wait a minute or a moment once I start hearing conversation, and then I do slink in and just kind of float around the edges on the opposite side, just kind of listening.
All right. If you're doing that, give me a stealth check.
How many people are in this
Are you
room?
going in with
You
him or are you
avert
staying
the-
outside?
The password.
Noticing him go in, I would go in with him, but I'm like picking off like 5 mushrooms at random and like throwing them in my bag and I'm going in.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
18 on the stealth.
18. All right.
Also, I also should clarify, the weapon I've concealed. It's now like buried under clothing. So.
Okay.
I'm not stealthing myself, by the way. I'm just walking in. Well, crouching and then going in.
Okay. So you're not trying to be stealth.
No.
All right. You managed to use the opportunity of him sort of starting to engage with him to sort of slink out and not get noticed and kind of hide behind some barrels and just peer over and like watch what's going on, or behind some shelves that have just got like crap loads of mushrooms that are just hanging over the edge. As the door kind of like opens and you walk in, you see this happening. The shopkeep sort of like looks up. He goes, "Are you there? You're not supposed to be in here."
Why not?
Well, you're not supposed to go into the nest unless you're with some other halfling.
But I wanted to purchase mushrooms. There's a nest here?
Oh, you're not going into the nest.
I'm trapped in the nest. Are there mushrooms in the nest?
I thought you were just following in behind this rugged crew. They look a bit like your type.
Are we hearing this conversation?
Yeah,
Because we walked in.
you guys haven't walked in yet.
Oh.
You only saw this door open.
And we only see him.
And you only, I mean, if you want to spot him, you could roll perception and try and clock his 18.
I want to try because the context clues for before is we saw them together. So if we only see him.
Right.
It's-
Actually, yeah, give me a roll with advantage.
Oh, so 2. And I'm looking.
No problem.
What am I doing?
If you guys also want to roll, that's fine as well. Just roll natural, though.
17. So just barely.
17?
17.
No, enough. You don't see
What
his
is it?
other friend
Perception?
nearby.
Can I?
24.
Ooh.
You are sort of on the outskirts, and so he's had his focus on like one of the other two, and so he's kind of finding himself like eyes gazed there. It leaves you enough room to say, sort of like, because of the way you are shifted, you take a peek out of the corner of your eye and you notice him sort of like skulking there.
I'm assuming I'm probably close to you.
Okay.
I'm gonna like nudge you and be like, hey. Is this the same dude that was following with him?
So I'm assuming she's pointing in a direction, and I still don't see him. I can tell like something's going on in that direction, right? Or am I seeing him now?
You're seeing this shopkeep engaged with a lizard folk.
Yes.
You don't see the other, and she just nudged you and
And pointed.
is
in a
pointed
direction.
in a direction towards him.
But I don't see him.
Which, no, that allows you to
Yeah.
basically pick him out if he were to not do anything.
I see. Can I because I am kind of jittery and not more. I'm kind of on edge, especially with the whole following thing. Would it be crass if I just casted detect magic?
You can cast detect magic, 100% sure.
Would the shopkeep think I'm weird for doing
I
that?
mean,
You have no idea.
You're casting a magical spell in the middle of the shop. Just as a heads up.
I guess
Spells are
that's-
not subtle, unless they are designed to be.
Detect magic is not. I think it's all 3. Or maybe it's 2. Is it
Detect
S&M?
Detect magic is
It's somatic and
Verbal.
verbal.
So hands and mouth.
Yes. I kind of give Aries a little like, and then I cast it because I'm too worried of the consequences.
You cast detect magic and you get overwhelmed with the amount of magic that is in this place. Absolutely insane amounts.
Like a fuse pops in my brain.
Give me an Arcana check, or tell me what you are trying to figure out and focus on.
I'm trying to focus on any type of magic that does not belong. So anything that's too different from everything else.
one of these things.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like if I'm looking at and I see yellow everywhere and I see a green dot, for example, like okay, that's not supposed to be.
Okay. All right. You don't need to roll Arcana then. The detect magic does the work for you. I just need. I was gonna help it decide, but I did it a different way. So as you're trying to focus in on what doesn't belong in this space, 100% the stone. You get that big, just heat of evocation magic that's just radiating at you. You also get some transmutation magic from the door that's just been like shifted out of the wall. It's not out of place, but it's a strong presence. It's a strong spell. You also get a large amount of, like, you sense a bunch of arcane beings in the room, but one that you didn't particularly figure out at first is that the shopkeep, Dink, is some sort of mage or sorcerer himself.
Okay. And that's all I see.
You also feel a massive heat of evocation magic coming from him. And it's the same feeling coming from the stone.
While not getting ready for a fight, I do turn and face where that magic is coming from. And I say, Bosco, I think you should close the door.
Well, that's the guy who needs the armor if he wants the door shut.
What? What?
I
Sorry, I literally said what?
Maybe make it a little easier to hear.
I look at Aries and Zarzeros and I'm serious. I'm not yelling, I'm not panicked, but I'm like, I seriously say, there's a problem. Someone is definitely here for something we have.
Are you like hush hush?
No. He knows we have it. We know he's here.
Are they behind the door that they need the password open?
Well,
They are not behind the door. They have not walked in yet.
No. Cedric is worried that this could potentially lead into the nest and does not want it to happen. So that's why he tells Bosco.
Seeing your concern, I'll turn to the innkeeper. Close the door now.
we need to go in the door. What are you gonna squeeze out the front door?
Close the fucking door.
At this point, once I see that their eyes are drawn to me, I will basically I walk to the entrance to the door, not to the magic door, but like the entrance to the actual hut.
You're gonna go back towards the where you came in to try and like go back out.
No, I guess not.
Are you
I
getting
guess at this point I am approaching. I'm not moving fast. I'm not charging. I'm walking.
Okay. You also see Dink sort of just like waves his hand and the door goes and form back into the wall. So you see this lizard folk slowly approaching you, cautiously.
Yeah, hunched over, like.
Gax just goes back to the shopkeeper, and we're like trading information about like
100%.
like
He
that.
nerds out.
Yeah, no,
He starts to show you his fucking ledger, like
yeah.
writes down anything of note that you have to tell him.
I'm doing the exact same thing.
Just loving it. He's like, oh, that's so fucking cool.
At this point, can I sense the energy that I'm sensing? Is it still pretty broad? Like, I wouldn't tell which one is which?
The energy is way heavier coming from you. Because obviously you hold the majority of it.
You're saying that I'm feeling come from him more than the stone?
Yes. There's a larger mass of evocation magic that you feel coming from him than from him.
So
You also, I think detect magic kind of gives you like this 3D, or not 3D, like an X-ray vision on the magic itself. You can see it's kind of stored away on him, and you have this outline of what looks to be some sort of flail.
Okay. Then I look at him.
I do approach, and I stop maybe 10 feet away from your group, and there's a pause that lingers a little too long.
I break the pause and I say, stop your skulking and state your business. And don't reach for that weapon I see trenched away.
You do see him flinch back, not expecting that.
You have something. You have something I want.
And what would that be?
Not sure. Can sense it.
How do you know we have it?
Is it for sale?
I glance over at Aries specifically.
You can 100% clock that glance if you want to, with insight.
Oh, good. Rolls.
I mean,
rolls.
I rolled-
What do you know? That's going to be a
trying to hide
modified
it, yeah.
1.
I wasn't trying to hide it, but...
So what?
It's a modified 1.
What was
I rolled a 2.
So yeah, actually you're just deeply laser focused that like him shifting his eyes doesn't impact you at all.
I don't really care, to some extent.
Was it an inside check? Because I would have tried to clock that as well.
I'm gonna say no on that since you're sort of like exchanging.
I'm putting us a backup here. I don't want to lead them to Zarzeros because he has it. I obviously do not say this to Cedric.
Yeah, you're deep in conversation, so I would say probably not.
Okay, wait, so I missed that, I'm sorry. He did get the glance?
No,
He did.
Oh, he did not.
I'm
Okay.
completely
He
missed
didn't
it.
catch anything.
Okay.
It's not for sale.
That's a problem for me.
What business do you have with it?
It's for something greater.
Greater than what?
It's a piece of something.
That thing around your waist?
I don't respond.
I don't respond either.
Listen, we're obviously on a bad foot here. What's your name?
He contemplates it for a minute. You kind of see his eyes shift back and forth.
Aragar.
Mine's Zarzeros. It's a pleasure to meet you.
So yeah, the dynamic has actually shifted because he's looking down at you, big time, because you're hunched over.
Yeah.
And he's 6'8", versus you kind of look kind of face to face with this one.
Mm-hmm. So I do So in addition to shifting my head to look at you, I do shift my whole body, which is kind of an unnecessary movement, which again you clock as strange. You hold it then.
Did I say that?
You involved yourself when he was the speaker?
Because I felt like we were getting off on a bad start. Peaceful solutions are always the best.
This brother likes to avoid fights at all costs. Me, not so much.
It's important for the balance of the world.
Zarzeros, you said?
Correct.
Aries.
Cedric.
I do a slight head bow.
I'm clocking a claim that you, bro.
I'm still looking at him. I noticed you're doing it, but I don't pay attention.
I need it. That is all I can say. If you think I'm going to strike you down here, that is not my intention.
Well, that's good to hear.
Do you plan to strike us out there?
Did they just say strike?
I think so.
Well, there will be no striking in here. You will get out of my shop if there will be striking.
No striking, no striking.
Anyway, about this one right here.
Oh, it's so it's immaculate, isn't it? Such tiny but so potent.
No.
Oh, God.
Do you mind if I cast a spell in here real quick?
Be my guest.
Thank you.
He's already done it.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to be polite though, man. I'm not going to be casting Detect Magic. I'm going to be casting Detect Poison and Disease.
Detect poison disease.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a ritual cast, so I don't
Yeah,
expend
so
a spell slot.
can you
but-
read me that spell? I actually don't know that one very well.
Yes. So for the duration, you sense the location of poisonous or venomous creatures in magical contagious within 30 feet of yourself. You sense the kind of poison, creature, or contagion in each. The spell is blocked by 1 foot of stone, dirt, or wood, 1 inch of metal, or thin sheet of lead.
Creatures or like things?
It says creatures in like contagions and stuff like that, so I'm assuming that I can sense it in most things.
Okay.
Yeah.
You get faint bits here and there around like where people would put their hands on things. And it's not on anything that Dink has been using. It's not on his workbench, it's not on the ledger, it's not on anything like that. It's like kind of like the door handles and things. Or like you saw the entranceway, you can see that there's like places where people have like grabbed it on the way by to go down or wherever they go past the door. And it seems to be some sort of like poison, essentially.
Seeing that, I know I was the one that opened the door first to get in. If I look down at my hand, am I contaminated?
Your hand is not contaminated, but you can see that like some of the poison that's on like some of the barrels also mixes in and looks kind of like similar. You're getting a similar like aspect from it, that like there's a bucket of like poisonous mushrooms over here. Someone must have touched it, got it on like their oils and things on their skin and like rubbed it in places. But disease, not so much.
Alright. Well, anyways,
I was just-
I'm Gax. It's nice to meet all of you. Yeah.
Zarzeros. It's a pleasure.
I heard.
Oh.
It's okay.
Great.
I look over at. Well, I'm sorry. How do you call it?
Aragar.
Aragar. I look over at Aragar and I say, if you wanted to start a fight, you would have already. So why do you want this thing? We know it's dangerous. So if you want it, is it for something dangerous?
He thinks for a long minute, but he doesn't change his eye. He doesn't shift his eyes this time. He's locked in and just looking at you while he's contemplating. No. At least not out of malice.
He comes off a bit rough. Please forgive him. He's been through a lot in his life.
I sympathize with that, but I don't say anything.
It is for something greater. It's to solve a problem.
Well, what's the problem?
The plague.
Cedric's eyes grow when he says that.
Yeah, same with Gax's.
I would say roll deception with disadvantage, and you can gather insight.
Do I know anything about the plague?
The plague that he's referring to?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I do, man.
Yes.
Wait, you said deception? You said deception?
Deception.
14.
22.
4.
You definitely clock him kind of reeling back from him talking about a plague as if it's been a part of his past that hurts him to his core deeply and makes him afraid.
Yeah. Seeing that, you notice Gax, he like instantly starts flipping through page, finds one, and like doesn't rush you, but approaches you straight away.
Okay.
Yeah.
My guard has been lowered because I've sensed no animosity from Aragar.
Yeah. He flips the pages around, and you see a very detailed list of the entire process of the plague, of everything that I've witnessed, everything that has happened within the clutch that I'm from, everything that I've tried, and everything that has failed.
Can I see the symptoms?
Yeah.
What are they?
Do you know the symptoms or?
Not off the top of my head.
So the symptoms of their plague is there's a lot of runic sigils that seem to be kind of causing the body to fail. It doesn't quite look the same as yours. However, they are different people. They are of different species of
Can I do an
humanoids.
investigation to see if there's any similarities at all?
Medicine check.
All day. Never mind. 14.
A 14. He does talk of kind of like acid burns, but not in the same kind of flesh rending that it was for you, for your instance. And yes, you wouldn't have heard of the plague that swept across the Veshlands, but that was not your duty to look into. You were tasked with something else. And so you went on your journey that way instead. But it was well known that basically the council, or whoever the the high leaders met for a council in there, and were talking about this, including the Vesh council ambassador.
I look over at Axe and I say, ill matter helps all those who need, whether they ask for it, and I look at Aragar, or not.
Who's that?
Cedric's jaw just kind of goes, ill matter.
Yeah, who is that?
I say a little blessing under my breath. And I say,
Yeah, Dios mío.
forgive her, she not knows what she says. And I say, not the point right now.
Okay.
We have business to attend, but I sympathize for your cause. Why don't we work together until we get to know each other a little more.
That works for me. As long as you guys are trying to stop this plague, I'll join anything.
No matter wishes to stop all suffering, friend.
Okay.
I look over it, asking for approval for Zarzeros and Aries.
I'm also like pivoting depending on who I think is going to speak next. So
Well, I'm looking you're like a.
yes, exactly. It's somewhere between a scowl and that 45-degree head tilt.
Maybe with some time, the stone will be yours. For now, we did have some business here.
Oh, it sounds like there's a good price on the stone at this point.
Hearing that, Dax just stares. Like, doesn't say anything. Like,
I also pivot and do.
Gax
Just kind of like
So I
surprised.
approach you. Is your throat okay? I have medicine that might be able to fix that.
It's always been like this. Don't bother.
Are you still in here? This is Dink Dank, whatever. I'm sorry. Dink Dank, Bo Dink.
The name is Bo Dink.
Did you do this to him? Did you mess up his voice? With one of your shrooms?
He didn't do anything to me.
You wouldn't remember?
He pays me to
That's
sample this
hurtful.
stuff.
Why would you assume such a thing about me?
I don't know what the relationship is here, but I think you should get paid more for being a research subject.
A couple years ago, maybe I would have cared if these strangers were to go in the nest, but to be quite honest, I just don't anymore. So,
To be quite honest, I've been trying to find a mushroom that may fix it, but I haven't found it successful.
Oh,
Maybe we can work together on this.
new
Good
goal.
idea.
New goal.
At that
Lower
point, you
his
hear
voice.
another rap on the door, and it opens, and you see Darley Autumnflow walk in with a strange-looking individual behind her, who's almost about the same height, but is much skinnier and looks not of this world, not like a normal halfling.
hey, Sweet Pea, who's that there?
Oh, now we're being sweet, are we? You were such an ass this morning.
I can't do it. Oh my god.
I'm just,
Now I'm your sweet pea.
I'm a chore boy around the house.
Yeah. Did you find us some food? We're having dinner with this one behind
Oh,
you. His name's Nixel.
I got 5 gold today.
Wow, great job, hun.
Oh, no.
I'm not going to tell you how much I made, because it might just hurt your feelings. So,
Hey.
Yeah, who's this guy?
who are all these people with you?
I don't know, you tell me who this guy is.
Well, this is Nixel. I just met him. He's new here, and he's interested in mechanical objects and such. And so I had some questions that I was going to ask him over dinner.
He's coming to dinner now. Nixel, this is my lovely girlfriend, Darley. I put a baby in her. She's not available.
That he did.
She's not available, man.
Wait, you? I'm sorry, I can't understand that voice. You gotta work on that, okay? You put a baby, or you said don't put a baby?
I put a baby in
Okay,
her.
I thought you said don't put a baby in her.
That was implied.
Yeah.
Children are quite nice, aren't they?
I take it you're Bosco.
Yeah, this is Bosco.
Between Bodink, Nixel, and Bosco.
Well, I thank you for the context, Bosco, but I'm not interested in things like mating.
I look at Aragar kind of with a confused face of like, how did the conversation change so drastically?
I guess you two can come into the nest too.
Super secret places like fucking coming in.
not going in there. But I'll meet you back at the house.
What?
I gotta unpack.
I'll bring you something later. I feel bad for earlier.
Don't spend too much on the drinks. You only got 5 gold.
Well, I can't let you back there, you know, the bartender. He was saying some stuff about you. Well, I
Is that
don't-
right?
Oh, yeah.
Be careful with yourself.
Alright,
I might just swing it.
Wait. So you're leaving?
Yeah, so she's gonna head out. Do you follow or do you stay here with the group?
I'm gonna follow.
Alright. You start to follow, you guys head into the nest, and that's where we'll cut our session.